Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome as you start coming on in. Welcome to Sick of This Shit Publications. I'm Nick Paro, not your dad, joined by Jarrod Zisser, independent journalist from The Take, and veteran friend that I have started to make over the last week or so. It's good to see you. Good to have you on with us, Jarrod. Can you introduce yourself for everyone in the audience who maybe doesn't know who you are? And then we'll jump into our discussion for today. Everyone, we're here for intelligent masculinity. This is going to be fun. It's better human in conversation. So, Jarrod, good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me. My name is Jarrod Zisser. I'm an independent journalist. I started that journey almost exactly a year ago when I noticed, people being kidnapped off the street all over the country, and basically our entire system turned into an authoritarian state. So, I quit my job, went full time into reporting the truth, the news on social media, grew to about 250, 260 now thousand in about a year of platforms. Making sure that people are not just being fed the BS that's on mainstream media or that this administration wants you to see, but the actual truth. I've been on the ground in LA, DC during the federalization, reporting what's going on, Portland twice, Minneapolis, and I'm probably heading, not 100% sure yet, but over to New Jersey in the next day or two, just, because of what's going on there. So I guess just a journalist for the people so that they know the truth. I mean, that's the only thing I care about right now, is make sure that people actually know what's going on and not what corporate media and the administration wants them to think is going on. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally get that. And apologies for anyone. Dog bells going off. We have a delivery that's going on right now. Awesome. Thank you, DoorDash, for delivering my stuff. I am not promoting them or advertising for them, but thank you for delivering my dog food for the day so that after this we can feed the puppies. Oh yeah, good boys. I've got 2 dogs just chilling out in front of me, and the third one's somewhere else. But yeah, I'm glad to have you on. I'm glad to hear about what you've where you've come from. It's interesting because we haven't really gotten to know each other that much, so we're really kind of new with each other. So tell me about, and this whole conversation is really fun because it's a deep dive into you, where you just get to talk about yourself and you get to talk about your experiences and who you are. And we've gotten to have a really diverse set of people come in, have this discussion, male, female, anywhere in between. And it's been really interesting. It's been really interesting to get perspectives from all across the spectrum and to hear the stories of some of the men that I've gotten to really know and trust the voices of and get to really respect. And it's shown a lot of really cool things about ourselves, but also how similar some of us are, even though we come at it from very different areas. And so you're a veteran as well. You're Marine vet, correct?
Marine Corps infantry, 2 tours in Iraq. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service. You did more than I
did.
I was in for my service. I'm an Army vet, 1 tour in Afghanistan, intel collector. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. I turned from human intelligence collection, which is you learn to interrogate people, to eventually getting to, I learned to talk to people and just have a conversation instead. So
well, that's kind of terrifying considering I'm on camera with you right now, but okay.
No, I am not interrogating you. I do not have that prepared. Like I said, you and I come at, we were talking Tuesday night, in a friends group, and in a Valor friends group that we have, and we, I think you asked the question of who comes prepared to everything, or who comes scripted to shows, and I was like, I don't script anything. I'm just off the cuff. and you tend to be more scripted in your show so that you're prepared. You like to be really researched into your topics, it sounds like. How does that impact the show types that you develop, and like what type of content you're trying to put out, so that how does that impact the work you're doing for like what type of content you put out and what focuses you?
Yeah, the reason I do it is because I think the most powerful thing that somebody can do when they're explaining something is to break down something that is, pretty complicated that most people don't understand into what I do, which is a 5th to 7th grade level. And I'm not saying that people have an education level of, 5th to 7th grade, overall, but when something is foreign or, is it pretty deep or in depth or something like, politics, geopolitics, whatever it is, things that people are not focusing on every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're trying to, provide for their family. They're trying to have a good life. I find that breaking those things down to that level when explaining them, which is why I have to script it, because if I was to go into the detail that I understand, I feel like I'll just end up, I have ADD. So somehow we'll be talking about, like, I don't know, Star Wars or something down the line when we were supposed to be talking about, the White House. And 2, it just keeps things on a steady path. So that way I know where I'm starting and where I'm ending. And like my main goal is to make sure that once either it's Instagram, TikTok, short 1 minute and 30 seconds, or anywhere between 8 and 45-minute long YouTube or Substack video, or even an article, which my last article is 27 pages, which was just ridiculous. And I need to make sure I don't do that again. The reason I'm scripted is because I want to make sure that when they leave, whether it's the article, the video, they don't have necessarily more questions, but maybe a tiny curiosity of what more they can learn about the subject, and a basic understanding of what it actually means. So like the things I hit on any video is, here's what's happening, here's why it matters, here's how it could affect you, and a lot of times I'll go into the legal aspects of it as well.
I like that.
I think that's the reason why I do it, honestly. Otherwise, I would just be a shit show all over the place, basically.
You'd be like some of our shows. Some of the shows I do, we keep it pretty natural, because I focus a lot on chronic illness, better humaning, and because I'm a chronically ill person, and I have chronic illnesses that suck, and so I made a focus group for myself, and we've built a really fun community around that, and it's all about lived experiences, so we're all off the cuff on that, and that's all about tangents. But others, I get it on like why you'd want to be more scripted. I just don't like doing it. I have
that's fine. I just have
much
to do it.
shit to do. Like you and I'm so scripted in a different way, I guess, because I don't script the shows I do, but I write a lot of code. And I do a lot of software development behind the scene, which is very scripted work. So I guess we're both kind of scripted, just in very different ways.
Yeah.
Because I like doing programmatic stuff, just not on when I'm actually talking. I like to freeform it. So this is going to be fun because you can't prepare for what I'm going to ask you in some of these things, because I haven't prepared you for this first half of the show, which is we're going to go into a little bit of a topic of the day, on like some of the things that have been going on recently, but focused on a theme of masculinity. We focus everything. This whole conversation is focused around masculinity and how you became who you are, like how you arrived where you're at and what you're continuing to do to get better, because we live in a world where we have the Sam Altmans of the world and others who believe that looking or like self-reflection is bad and they don't do any of it, or we have toxic empathy or whatever bullshit keyword they want to use to describe just being a good person. like,
Yeah.
and what it means to be a decent human being, and they're doing all the opposite. And it seems like men specifically need reminders on how to actually do these things. And so we're breaking it down and having good conversations. So that's where I theme all of these discussions, and some of this early questioning that's outside the actual Google Doc I sent you on some of the questions. So let's talk Iran and what's going on there and the posturing that's been going on, and where you see that in terms of both as a veteran, what you see going on, and how you feel about it, and what does that mean to you in terms of, say, from a masculinity point of view, what is it showing young men? The examples of the quote leaders we have, what examples from a military perspective is that showing young men, and young recruits and young service members on what it means to be a leader these days?
God, that is a lot. And just because I have so much to say about it, I mean, I think just because it's so forefront in my mind and something I'm dealing with, I broke a story on Substack about a mother reaching out to me completely distraught about the fact that her son is passing out and almost passing out in line for chow on the ship on the USS Abraham Lincoln. He's lost over 32 pounds in about a month. He's working 10 to 12-hour shifts and they're not even getting packages to him, and um after breaking that, I had another conversation. I've had a conversation with 4 other mothers that are saying the same thing, on the Tripoli, on others on the USS Abraham Lincoln, and um, I had my views on how this entire campaign was started, and by that I mean how poorly this entire thing was planned, if it was even planned, and especially executed by, Pentagon Pete Hegseth. And I, as a Marine veteran who served 2 tours in Iraq, I'm appalled. I mean, first of all, the fact that the bases that are in the Gulf within striking distance of Iran, and the fact that they were not reinforced, maybe over a few month period, to be able to withstand drone and missile strikes before this entire thing happened blows my mind. That's simple planning. That's simple. I'm sorry, but I mean, you do not send thousands of lives, into a situation without them being prepared. I mean, the fact that these people I can't even imagine. I remember being mortared and having to like run into a small little like concrete, little like above ground tunnel and hope that's going to help. But
Yeah.
realizing it's like, and that was on a fob the size of a football field. You know what I mean? Like these are big military installations we're talking about that are being hit right now. That we're being hit. And the fact that they didn't actually prepare those better, just I had to like look in the mirror and be like, this is real life, right? I mean, the most powerful military in the world, the one that I even served in, didn't prepare like bases that are in the surrounding area to make sure that they have what they need to make sure that nobody dies.
We've been watching Ukraine fight with Russia for how many years?
Oh
And
God,
we
a
didn't
lot.
expect
Yeah.
that same war type to be done against us.
No. Well, I think they should have. Everything's going to drone warfare. Let's be like real. I mean, first of all, it's cheap. It is significantly cheaper to build a drone and run it into a building with a small amount of ordnance to do a ton of damage. Plus, They can travel for long periods of time. They can travel at low levels as well if they need to make sure that they're not, on radar. It's the fact that Ukraine, who is in this massive war, had to come out and say, hey guys, we have some technology we can share with you, is embarrassing. And I don't mean to say that there's anything bad with Ukraine. Ukraine is one of the most impressive military. I'm sorry, I am so impressed with Ukraine. I mean, talk about making what we thought was a superpower military like Russia look like, I don't know, just nothing. I mean, I mean, half of their tanks like broke down within the first 15 days of the invasion. I mean, you have citizens throwing like Molotov cocktails at people on the streets. I mean, it's like, the story of Ukraine, which they will win, it will happen, is going to be the most significant story since the victory of World War II. That is my opinion, but I mean, I'm sorry that it will 100% be the most incredible victory story. But the fact that we watched, supported as well, this battle, this war in Ukraine, and we were not better prepared for what the Middle East, especially a country like Iran and their capabilities, we were not ready for that at all. And it is embarrassing to represent a military in any type of way, whether it be present, future, or past, that is making decisions that in my mind would be so simple. I mean, all you would need is like a piece of paper and just like, okay, so what needs to be done first? So let's get that done first. You know, why are men starving on ships? Why are they passing out? Why are their clothes not fitting? I mean, I'm sorry. I was in Iraq again. I mean, yeah, I was in Iraq, and I mean, shit, on Fridays we had steak and lobster. You know what I mean? We did. You know what I mean? And I mean, shoot, man, I had so much Dr. Pepper and so much Coca-Cola when I was there too. I mean, we never had to worry about food, especially on my first deployment, because that was a nice area. I mean, it was, just we took over this entire like in Haditha, this like massive like location. When I was in my second tour, I mean, it was all bagged meals, but whatever. We still got the food. I mean, there was no lobster and steak on the second tour, but we still got food. You know what I mean? We still got.
You always ate.
Oh, we always ate, and we always got our packages, and we always had a truck come by like once a month where you could buy like 6 cartons of cigarettes, and like everything else that you needed to survive for the month, like like 4 cases of Monsters, you know what I mean, that you like hide under your rack. So the fact
little
that
cases of Rippets that
oh man, Rippets were the best, man. That was
there's a reason veterans have heart conditions, and I think it has a lot to do with Rippet.
Hey, you take down 2 no-dos with a shot of Rip It, man, you're good to go. I remember hallucinating on post once, and I had to get like punched out because I was like I was like yelling at a water heater with my rifle and everything, like I was going to kill the water heater, and I just remember getting knocked out and waking up, and it was just like, what happened? They're like, well, you needed a little rest. But that's what happens when you go on like a 3-day op and then you get to stand duty, fire watch. Yeah. It's like, well,
maybe you should go to bed.
Yeah. So that was funny. I mean, I had a doc knock me out basically.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I got my ass beat by a Navy sailor. But the fact that this is happening is just ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. We've been in enough military campaigns, unfortunately, which I believe we should not have been in. I mean, I don't think we I mean, look, the search for Osama bin Laden, I'm 100% for. Like, absolutely. I do not think that we absolutely had to do that. Okay. Yes. But this whole BS about being in Iraq and things like that was, I mean, I firmly believe these days that I served in the military and in Iraq for oil money. I mean, that's, yes. I mean, I can't do enough research to figure out why else. I mean, I'm sorry. I remember even going on missions saying, yeah, this was like a nuclear, like facility of some types. I'm like, the place is built out of fucking clay. And there's chicken shit on the ground. I'm sorry, but there was no refining of any type of material that can be used in a nuclear warhead that was being done here. So this is just like a total waste of everybody's time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And people were getting killed for it, and they're still killing themselves today because of it, and pretty big numbers, and it's really sad. But the fact that we went through multiple campaigns and our military fucked this up. So, but am I okay to curse? I'm sorry, but this is getting
absolutely.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. The fact that we fucked this up that bad and this early blows my mind and shows you that Pentagon Pete really should not be in the position that he's in. I mean, he should go back to maybe like weekend, like anchoring and alcoholism, because that's what he was really good at. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that he should. The fact that he got approved for this position too, it just blows my mind and just really shows me that, oh my God, the GOP is going so far back in time, and they're getting so dumb. And I mean, look, typically I'm an independent journalist, and I don't say things like this, but I feel like right now it's okay. That hat is off right now. I am a human being. I'm an American. I'm a veteran. Like they are.
This is not a news show. This is not a news show. So be you. This is not about you being a journalist.
Yeah, like no, I'm a human first. I'm an American as well, and to me, being an American is something very different than the GOP is, the Republican or MAGA, whoever you want to call them, the white Christian nationalists, are all under the same fucking umbrella. Like what these people are trying to portray that America is supposed to be, and what they're pushing for it to be, which is basically, if you're not white and Christian, get the fuck out. I mean, it's ridiculous, first of all, because I'm sorry, but we have always been a country of salvation. And by that, I mean not a religious salvation. I mean for people escaping horrific conditions, horrific countries. I mean, yeah, I guess we haven't always been perfect. I mean, there was a time where we didn't, bring the Jews. I could say Jews because I'm a Jew. Let the Jews in, and they would end up getting turned back to Europe and then slaughtered. But we fixed that as well. But we have grown. We have grown from, I want to say we have like really grown from the 1940s until last year. And whether it be civil rights, which there's been so many victories with civil rights that are being stripped now every single day. Human rights, which are being completely stripped or have been stripped with the dismantling of USAID and other things of that nature. I mean, this idea of America first is the most outrageous lie I have ever heard. And I mean, you know what? I do believe that Trump actually is America first, but only like billionaire, multimillionaire America first. That's what I tell people is if you're talking about those people, then yeah, totally America first. But people like me, like you, like 99.9% of the rest of the country, he doesn't give a shit about us. And they are literally trying to do this age-old divide, distract, dismantle, and conquer. I mean, they're pinning us against each other so hardcore, and they're doing a great job. I mean, they're using ICE for it. They're using everything that they possibly can to keep us fighting each other and not paying attention to the actual issues at hand. And they're doing a real good job about it, which is why I feel like what we're doing is so important. So important, which is why I feel like I need to go to like Delaney Hall and really like blow that shit out of the water and show people what's happening. So this is why I script things. I'm all over the place, but
I like it. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, okay, good. But back to Iran. I mean, this is set up. This was such a major fuck up on the White House and the Pentagon that it, by default, in my opinion, will probably be a forever war. And by that, I mean at least probably 1 to 2 decades, because I just do not see us just being to pull back and leave at this point. I just don't. I mean, look, we've literally put every single person in. We put every single country in the region into absolute harm. It is this wasn't just U.S. and Iran. This is now Iran versus the Middle East, and we just instigated the fight. I mean, basically, you know what I mean, and spent billions of taxpayer dollars to do it. So,
and used it as a nepotism point and cronyism point, so that, say, Don Jr., who owns a drone company or part of a drone company, can buy into drone technology with Peter Thiel and all the tech bro technocracy bullshit people. It's
this is
they
all
do
family
this on
business.
purpose.
Oh no, everything is done intentionally. I firmly believe that so people think, oh, he's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, no, the guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
so he's very intentional about what he does. Like, look, Trump is not an idiot. He's an asshole, but he's not an idiot. Okay, I mean, he is a very smart person. People think, oh, well, he bankrupt businesses. Well, look, there's also a very good strategy of being able to do that. It erases debt. I mean, this is like not everything that this guy does is calculated. And look, he had 4 years to figure this out. Okay. And, I was talking to my father-in-law, about politics, and he's in trade. He's a trade attorney. So this guy's last year has been like, the man does not leave his office, because as soon as Trump says something, he's getting calls from like Starbucks and everybody else saying, what the fuck are we supposed to do now? He's literally having to adjust the understanding of tariffs and how it's affecting each company he represents and things like that. And I don't know how I got on that topic, but anyway, no, what I mean is we had a conversation. He goes, no, look, if Trump says he's going to do something, it's a matter of about 14 days before he does it. Like, people keep saying, oh, he won't do it, it's fine. Like, no, look at his track record. The guy does what he says he's going to do. And if he doesn't today, he pushes it 14 days. It's always 14-day increments. You know what I mean? So he's like, it's just a matter of time. If he says he's going to do something crazy, I mean, man, look out. That's why people are like afraid for, the fact that I'm reporting the truth constantly, because that just puts me in the Antifa corner. Like, I am anti-fascist. How dare you? You're American. You better be fucking anti-fascist. I'm just putting that out there. I mean, there's no organization. That's just called being an American. Okay. But, now we're looked at as these dangerous terrorists. I mean, it's literally in writing and signed by Trump. If you are not pro ICE, if you are not pro deportation of every single person that does not belong here, you are an enemy of the state. And I mean, yeah, and I don't cover my face either. I've been in detention centers all over this country. I'm just like, I've literally had an officer in Minneapolis be like, "Oh, I saw you in Portland." I'm just like, I know. I've even been called by a certain organization saying that they got intel that I was on a list, which I'm more proud of than anything else, to be honest with you. I don't do anything illegal. Ever.
I think you should be proud of it.
I am. I'm very proud of that. I thought that was a really cool call. I smiled afterwards. It's like, what? Like, oh, that's cool.
There's one of those awards you put on the wall. Like, I got put on one of the Trump lists. Check.
I'm on a list, baby. On a list.
Yeah.
Proud member of a list. So I made a joke with my family. I was like, hey guys, just want to let you know, I think I'm being viewed as a possible domestic terrorist. And I just want to apologize for marrying your daughter. Because, now you're stuck with me.
Now you're stuck with this anti-fascist asshole who won't shut up about it and is on a list.
Yeah, exactly. It's whatever. I don't know.
It is what it is. And that's the scary thing. That's the scary thing about it is we probably are on lists more than one. Yeah. And we don't cover our faces. You made a good key little point there is we don't
We're
cover our
right out in the
faces when we
open.
go do any of the things. I use my name when I'm out there. Like, I'm not under a pseudonym. I know some folks are, and that's for safety. And I totally do not disregard the need for
No,
safety
of
for
course not.
folks. For me though, like, I am, if I'm gonna hide my face, I'm a coward. Like, I'm the least likely class of people to get taken or abused in any way. So I may as well show my face and do the right thing. But also, you said the important part too early. You had another important part on this was where you were like, it's hard as an independent journalist. I don't always come this way. And then you followed it up with, but I'm an American first. And I think that's something that most people in the States have forgotten is they have put something else in front of being from the States first, being an American first. And what that actually means is you uphold the values of the Constitution,
100%.
which is life, liberty, and justice for all. And yes, that was amended to be all. That was that, and that is changed to be all. And yes, we should change the wording from all men to all people, but
I agree with that.
that can be something we can and should do. But you said the important part was it's country over party, it's country over journalism, it's country over job, it's
human being over everything else as well, in my opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, we're human beings. And the fact that it's a political conversation that one human being wants to love another one a certain way or wants to be viewed a certain way, we have so many fucking important things that we need to deal with as a country, as a civilization. We really do not have to worry about what, George and John are doing on their own free time. I mean, you do not need to make legislation about it. And if my buddy Ben wants to be called Bunny and wear dresses, why the fuck do you care?
Yeah.
And you know what? I ask this question a lot and I can never get an answer. I literally, and the only answer I'll ever get is another mechanism for them to have us, fighting each other to distract us from what the fuck is happening actually on a much larger level. That's the only real thing I can come up with because it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm a human being first, I'm an American second, and then I'm a journalist third, and I feel like the big problem in journalism today, and I've seen it in the field, is people say I'm a journalist first, and it's like, well, you can't really be a journalist first. I mean, let's look at what's happening right now. No, I'm just going to report what's happening. People can make up their own, opinions on it. I'm like, I get it, but this is not 2016. This is not 2008. Whatever. This is 2026, and our fucking country is starting to burn. I mean, we are literally erasing everything that the Black community, that the female community spent years and generations trying to change to make better for everybody. And it's happening within a year. So if you can't turn on your human, empathy cap while you're telling these stories of such extreme importance, then just get out of the newsroom, because at the end of the day, we don't need some steady head saying, asking somebody else what their thoughts are on it. No, what is your fucking thought? Like, what do you, I want to know what you think. And I'll add opinions into what I do. Not all the time, but if I'm doing a story about how an individual was killed or is being affected, I mean, you're damn right I'm going to show the fact that I have an opinion on the matter, and we don't, and I feel like I've had several conversations with other independent journalists in different parts of the country, and they've all come to that conclusion, whether it be slower or faster, that we really need to be human beings first. And yeah,
I think that's really important And also is a really great point for us to be able to segue into the intelligent masculinity interview questions themselves.
I
Because,
actually just want to say one more thing, if that's okay.
yeah, oh,
When
absolutely.
you
This is all about you,
about
brother. If we don't get
okay,
to the questions, we don't get to the questions. Like
no, 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 it's fine. We'll get to the
this is a
questions.
discussion about you, man, and like what's going on and what we can learn. So keep going,
Oh, thank
brother.
you. Okay. Well, you know, I mentioned that we show our faces, and I am pretty deep into the protester community. You know, I whenever I go to these places, that's where I'm most recognized, which is cool. You know, like I'll literally have people come up to me constantly, thanking me for my work and stuff like that. And I know that you did not mean this in any way, but when you said that we have to show our faces, otherwise, you know, we're cowards. These people, and I know you did not mean this. I'm sorry. I just want to point it out there, just so because I know I'll get like blown up for it. That's because we're in the media. We're in this new age of media. We have a responsibility to show our faces and to give people an identity to be able to turn to when they are explaining what they think is going on and what is actually going on. But to the protesters that are on the ground in all of these cities in front of these ICE facilities that are completely covering their faces, I just want to make sure we state that they are not cowards. They are being very, very strategic and very smart because
Oh,
their
absolutely.
lives are in significant danger. And I
Oh,
know you didn't mean
absolutely.
that. I just wanted to make sure I put that out there.
Yeah, no, clarity is really important. Clarity is really important, especially when we talk about complex issues. And like you said, breaking complex issues down into simple discussion points isn't talking down to people. It's talking so that people understand what the fuck you're saying. Like people
Yes.
want to know what other people are saying. And it's just we talk so that other people can understand us. The point on the yes, the point is that we are media. We are part of the media
Yeah.
community. And as part of that community, but as part of the veteran community too, it's to me, it's really important that we tend to show our faces
Oh yeah.
because, again, I am not a targeted community in the same way that others are.
Yep.
And it is folks who look like me and Jarrod who are committing so much of the atrocity that it also has to be folks that look like me and Jarrod who are in these safe communities who come out and do these things. And yes, being being in the protest community, and that's not part of the community I'm part of. Like
Yeah.
I'm not deep in the protest community. I totally respect and understand why y'all cover your faces. Like no problems there.
Yeah, and
Totally
I didn't think that you
understand it.
did. I just wanted to put that out there just because
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah, totally.
I see them I see them a lot. So I just wanted to make sure that they understood that um
It's our
the media
responsibility from
understands
the
what they're
media
doing.
side. Yeah, from the media
Yeah.
side
And the veteran
to
side, I mean, look at like
and the
Jolly.
veteran
I've been
side.
on the field with Jolly. Jolly doesn't cover his
Mhm.
face. I mean, I've seen medics that are on the ground taking care of people, you know, that are not covering their faces either. They're wearing some PPE, but their faces are exposed. I mean, the veteran community, for the most part, is not afraid to hide. In fact, I mean, even when I'm out there with I have level 5 plates, I have Kevlar. I have a gas mask that covers my entire. I'm literally when I'm on the ground covering things, I try to be as like safe as possible, but I still have the patch I wore when I was in Iraq, like literally on my vest, you know. And I'm not. I mean, and that's the thing you'll see with veterans out there too. That means they're not covering their faces, and you'll see
Mhm.
that they have like things on their helmets. They're wearing their old camis or whatever. You know, it's really cool. It's really cool. The veterans are not
Good.
afraid to
Yeah.
go out there and basically say "fuck you" to them with their faces showing.
As it should be, and
As it should be.
as it is too in a lot of ways, is a lot of the community, a lot of the forward movement in this country is led by minorities and veterans. And veterans often intersect that community of minorities very, very heavily because it is the most diverse group of individuals in the nation is the
True.
veteran community, because it's a forced diversity group, and a lot of minority groups are forced to participate in the military in some way, and so, or volunteer for it in some way. And so there's a huge segment, and the voice of the veteran community is really powerful. And when we start standing up and making ourselves visibly heard, others tend to hear and others tend to listen, because we put a special emphasis on veteran, be good or bad in whatever it is, but we put a special emphasis on the word veteran in this country. And so it's our privilege to use it, and I'm going to use
Yeah,
it.
I think Goldsmith, Christopher Goldsmith, put it a really good way when I was having a conversation with him on the phone, and he was saying, "Look, having the title of a veteran, especially one that's served in any type of theater, comes with a degree of trust, and for people to ask you your opinion. And it's funny because I it's so true. People will come by and think that, I mean, you were in Iraq, so tell me about Iran. What's going on there? I'm like, okay, well, first of all, two completely different things,
Yeah.
in a way, but there are similarities, But it's like people expect you to be able to kind of break down what's going on, just because you were in the regional vicinity, I guess, but or you had that type of training. So I agree with you. I think it's being a veteran right now is a very powerful thing, and in my opinion, that oath does not go away when you EAS. That you took that oath for life, and you have an absolute, I'm sorry, obligation to the country, to the Constitution, to God, to everybody here, to get outside and fulfill that oath. Just because you're not wearing the same uniform or a uniform at all doesn't mean anything. You didn't take an oath to wear a uniform. You took an oath to protect the Constitution, to protect the country and the Constitution from all enemies, foreign, but most importantly, I want to make sure people understand domestic as well. And that is the trouble that we're in. And I had a conversation with Jolly Ginger in Minneapolis about this, and I asked, like, how can we get more veterans out here? His whole goal was like, I don't even want to really focus on that. I want everybody out here. I was like, yeah, I know we want everybody out here, but like, how do we get veterans to take the responsibility that they promised they would take? Whether it be 4 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and get outside and start making a difference. And I don't mean violently. I obviously mean I mean peacefully, 100%. And I mean, the only answer people can really give you is we just got to be louder. We got to be louder. We got to reach more people. We got to make sure that they know they're supported. And if they were to go out, they would not be going out by themselves. That there's a massive community that goes out all over the place. And people don't see this, but on any given day in Portland, there are people on the streets basically like fighting DHS, not physically, but with music, speeches, mass people gathering together. Minneapolis, I mean, is the closest thing to Iraq I think I've seen since Iraq. I mean, there's some neighborhood you can't even get into unless you show them your ID, and there's people off the highways that like clock you and everything. It was really insane. But there's also people outside of those detention centers that are getting arrested and getting attacked and having, I mean, I reported a police officer in LA during No Kings 3.0. I videotaped him literally assaulting a 17-year-old and breaking their bones. Like, it was such clear assaults that like even the attorney is like, dude, thank you for the video. Like, this is gonna be the easiest thing in the world. The guy had 3 guys on top of him. He was on his stomach on the ground, and then one guy's like, well, this is a good idea, and runs over there and just starts smacking him with his baton. So like, there is a battle happening every single part of this country, at least in one town or another in each state. And we just really got to make sure that the people in this country know that that's happening, where it's happening, and that them just being there, they don't have to say shit. You don't have to go out there with a sign and start screaming super loud. Stand 20 feet away from the people that are doing that, at least showing them that there are more people doing this. We're not alone. I mean, the more people we can get out there, the better. That's the only way we are going to see success in this war that we're in here in the United States. And I call it a war. I know it's dramatic, but let's be real. This is a fucking war. It's just, and it's a violent one too, at the hands of DHS and the government. It's not, I mean, sure, there's people that are, there's one-offs, people going around shooting at, the White House and things of that nature. But this is an absolute, this is a war. And the only way we're going to win this war is if 3% of the country can gather together, stop going to work, and just get outside and be loud. The problem is they go outside and be loud, then they go home for the day. And then they plan another one a month later and they go home for the day. No. If just 3% of the country went to DC, did not go home, camped out wherever they were, and protested constantly, I think within 2 weeks, this would all be over. That's just my opinion. But people, are slaves to their jobs, to their mortgages, to their high cost of living, to their families. And I get it. I mean, that's all. And this may sound very like tinfoil hat, but it's made to be that way.
Oh, it is absolutely made to be that way.
It's made to be that way because
we're made to be slaves to the system. That's the whole point. Is they need slaves, they need serfs, they need whatever they want to call us. They need corporate slaves so that we have to work, that we have to go to our job, that we don't have medical coverage if we're not in a job, that we lose our house.
We'll be more careful that way, and we won't do much. We'll stay inside.
Yeah, the only ones of us who have that fallback for the most part are veterans, are disabled veterans, to be more specific, because we have our disability benefit, which provides us medical coverage.
Yep.
And we know that's the only reason I can do this, and it's still hard, is because
Me too, it's still hard. Still hard.
Yeah, and I have kids, and I still have to figure out how I'm going to get coverage for my kids outside of downvote the shit out of that. I don't even know where that downvote finger came from. I didn't do anything.
Did I do anything?
No, it came on my screen. My screen decided to do a thumbs down for me. That was weird. Came at the right time though. It's tough. That said, I know I have medical care. And that's one of the reasons it's a responsibility for veterans, if we're able to do it, is to start being the lead on those things, because we have the fallbacks that maybe others don't right now. We have the care service that, it could be taken away if you do these actions in the long run. They could try and take it away from you, but you have it right now.
We'll see.
You have it right now, and we've got the privilege, and we either use what privilege we have now or we lose it soon. Because
they have to do that before the midterms, and I don't see that happening.
Yeah, first they came, and then no one was there when they came for me, and it's a quick slide down that slope. And so all of this
question right there is probably the most important question that people need to hear, to be honest with you, because, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's so important. My wife and I had a conversation a year ago, and the reason why I quit everything I did for work to do this, and I'm still not making a good living doing this, by the way. I mean, we're in the red almost every single month, because these platforms only are not paying out for people that are talking about the administration. You know what I mean? I'm actively trying to figure out how to get paid so that I can keep doing this. But that's not important. what's
With
important
that, if you're
is,
here on Substack, become a paid or free subscriber with either
oh,
Jarrod or myself. Like,
that'd be
please
great. Thank
do.
you.
It would be really, really appreciated.
It's very appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. But the conversation that my wife and I had, and like on our, like, you know, in our kitchen, was her grandmother fled Poland, you know, back in the 1930s. And every single other person that in her family was optimistic that things would be okay, you know, and they're no longer around.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't make it out of Europe, let's just put it that way. And the question that she heard asked quite a bit with people that she did know in Europe, even after the fact, was when the Jews were being lined up on the streets waiting for trucks to pick them up to take them to the station. Did you guys ever do anything to like help those families or stop what was happening? 99% of people said no.
Mm-hmm.
So look, I know that we're not necessarily looking at another Holocaust at the moment, but let's also be clear that the atrocities that happened at the Holocaust did not happen at those camps on day one either. Okay, that was a progression that happened over years.
And we're building those facilities right now.
We're building those facilities right now. And that's what people need to understand, is that that could easily change. I mean, the thing is too, we're not even really deporting people either. That's the sad part, is we're building more installations because these companies that manage them, like Geo Group and these private organizations, they're literally moving these prisoners around the US because every single time they go to a new station, they have to charge for that new prisoner. And the companies and their investors are making hundreds of millions of dollars. I think they're getting close to billions of, I think there'll be billions of dollars, if it's not already, by next year. So this is like this is a human.
It's human trafficking.
It's human trafficking.
Let's call it what it is. It's human trafficking.
Human trafficking. It is. It is. And I don't ever want to be asked by my children, by my grandchildren, by anybody, when this started happening to your country, to the people that have been living in your country that have not broken any, like, have not committed any deadly, like, or physical or violent crimes. I mean, God, come on. Like a 75-year-old woman that's lived here for 35 years and paid taxes and raised children, some of them who actually served in the military, gets treated this way, dies in custody, or gets sent to a country that she hasn't seen in, forever. That's not okay. And that's just the beginning. That's the start of all this stuff. I mean, look, if people were to pick up these books and read about the Jewish people, leading up to, the atrocities that happened, these things happened in very slow increments. I mean, there was a time where you had to wear the star, or you had to wear like basically a badge of dishonor or whatever, because you were Jewish. So people knew that, oh, I can't serve you because you're Jewish, or, I'm going to look down upon you because you're Jewish. I mean, these things just slowly, people think that, oh, we're not there because it's just going to be a snap of a finger and then bam, we're back in those days. This stuff happens very gradually. And that's by design, so that people don't actually see or recognize it until it's too fucking late. And the people that read books, the people that are educated, can see exactly what's happening. And that is why almost every single anti-fascist, authoritarian scholar has left the United States, except for, there are some, I'm sure, but except for a good friend of mine who you should interview. He's just one of the most incredible men, is Dr. Randy Blazek. And I mean,
would love to.
He is what's that?
I said I'd love to interview him.
He'll talk to you. He's great.
Okay, awesome.
And he's deep into defeating masculinity right now, like deep into it. Like he's doing webinars and schooling. He's a sociology professor. And his entire dissertation was literally infiltrating neo-Nazi groups back in the day.
Fantastic.
In Germany, here, all over the place. He literally wrote his dissertation about hate groups. He grew up in the KKK town that started the KKK. You know, he didn't have these.
Oh shit.
He had those beliefs when he was younger, but then, you know, he obviously. I don't want to say he had those beliefs. I shouldn't say that. He was surrounded by this.
Yeah.
And he realized how big of an issue it was. And he's one of the only people that's sticking around to fight this. Jason Stanley's gone. I mean, most of those guys they fled the country. They're teaching in London, Spain, Canada, because they're like, whoa, no, we've seen this enough. We've seen enough writing on the wall. We know exactly where this is going. We're going to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't understand that even happened. So it's like, wait, so the guys that are highly educated, the most educated that you could possibly be on these situations, have fled the country. That's terrifying.
Yeah. Sorry, my daughter was asking me if I
okay.
wanted. She's school just ended. She's asking me if I wanted coffee.
That's very sweet. Coffee.
Yeah, I love my daughter. And yeah, there are a few who have stayed, but like the point is we are in the boiling water. We are the frogs in the boiling water, just getting slowly boiled every day, more and more. And the closer we get to hot, they can crank the temperature up faster. Yep. Because once you're near boiled, it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to be done soon anyway. So they're just going to ramp it up.
Yep.
And journalists are also fleeing. The thing is, we need people to step up, because if you flee, and I'm not saying, I'm going to say that if you're fleeing and say you're a veteran and you are in a position where you could otherwise help, I think it is cowardice. I think because we have a special responsibility. And somebody said it's in the chat that it's horrific that we keep asking veterans to give more and more and more over. And I want to push back on that and say, thank you, dear. And I want to say, we need to stop seeing it as being horrific that we're asking veterans to do this. Veterans, it should be our honor to continue serving our nation and stepping up when needed. So stop
absolutely
framing it from the negative. We need to start framing it from what good are we going to achieve by what we're doing, and start doing that. And I think and I just mean to push back on that one part of the comment, friend. I appreciate you having that comment. I think I'm tired of seeing that type of comment. And I think we were talking, I know we're getting really close to the end of our hour here, and I haven't gotten to any of the questions, which is totally fine.
No, it's okay. I don't have to leave if you want to ask more. If you have to go, that's fine. I mean, I'm good.
I have another show in half an hour after, so we'll stay for a little bit longer.
Okay.
Like, we need to get back to like evaluating how to ask these basic questions of ourselves, how to reframe our conversations in a way that gives people hope, and offers a path forward. Because you were talking about it the other day, while we were in our Valor Friends group, and we were talking, you were asking about like, what do we call what we're doing? And you were having a hard time like framing, how do we discuss issues and how do we discuss certain things? And I just came back with everything you said is patriotism. Like, we need to come at it from what we are doing is patriotic. What we are doing is true patriotism. And I want to hear like a little bit of your thoughts on that, on the framing of masculinity around that. Is, how do we use masculinity? How do we use our masculinity, what we have, what we're representing, what we're putting out to the world, what we put out to our families, to our friends, to ourselves? How do we use that as veterans in our position, in our special position right now? How do we use that to help influence other veterans to step up, but also to influence those around us in a positive way and give them something to fight for or to rally around?
So this conversation, and this is just another battlefield in the war that we're fighting right now. This situation of toxic masculinity, and it's literally becoming another umbrella that is encompassing white hate and a lot of and just absolute like disgusting like misogyny. And I don't want to say the wrong thing because this is something that I'm still like looking into and understanding. But look, I think being a masculine man, being a leader that people can look up to, means understanding that men are not the ones that hold all the power, that they can't open all the doors. Like, look, I'll be honest with you, I would not be anywhere in my life without my wife. Like, literally, I mean, I would not, I don't know where I would be without my wife. And, you know, she is the most amazing and incredible person I think I've ever met in my entire life. And I put a little bit too much on her because I value her opinion, her thought process, and everything. You know, it's she basically is my business partner in literally everything. And because she's just so absolutely intelligent and amazing. And I think that being able to, I think it's important for people to really be able to give credit where credit's due. And one thing I learned, like my father growing up was a complete, you know, shitbag. I can't think of a single nice thing to say about him. And, you know, he ended up abandoning us anyway. And, you know, seeking out a masculine man was always something I tried to do as a child, you know, because I wanted to know, because I grew up with my mother. I had a sister, you know, and all female cousins. And and so I was around women most of my life. I grew up in the Bay Area, which was very, you know, very liberal, very feminist friendly. And, you know, it was just a very easy place to be normal. I want to say, I guess, I don't know. Like, look, I ended up finding like my best friend of like in my entire life. And his father was the ultimate masculine man. You know, I mean, like I was like a 3rd degree black belt. I mean, he provided for the family. He you didn't want to fuck with him. You know what I mean? But the thing is, though, he was the most respectful husband. I mean, he never made decisions without talking to, I mean, let's be real, his wife made all the decisions, but like he knew that he had input involved, but there was this line between, you know, being a masculine man and respect, you know, and the knowing that his opinion is not better than hers. And I think that's really important. And I think that's something that I have in my relationship. I mean, let's be real. When my kids ask me, well, who's in charge? I say, mommy. I mean, like straight up, mommy is in charge. You know, like we talk about things together, obviously, but like it's, you know, this whole fact of being this controlling, misogynist, king-like figure in your home disgusts me. And that's the whole problem. And that's one of the reasons why I dig so hard into this white Christian nationalism, because that's the whole thing too. They're trying to keep the woman's vote, you know, from being suppressed. It should be one family. The man should decide. The woman can have a conversation about it if he lets her. But at the end of the day, the father, the man of the house, is the one who is going to be making the decisions for not just his family, but the state, his city, his country. And there's nothing you can do about it, you know, and that's why this SAVE Act is so disgusting too, because it also makes it harder for people. I mean, look, women that are married that take their husbands, you know, last names are not going to be allowed to vote. because they don't have their maiden names. And that's another way for the, white Christian nationalists or the GOP, the MAGA, the Republican Party, they're all the same. They're becoming the same, to basically take the woman who has empathy, because the women are too empathetic to be able to go and vote.
Empathetic.
And that's what pisses me off. I'm so sorry, but you cannot call yourself a masculine man unless you have empathy. I am so sorry. Okay. And there is nothing wrong with having empathy. There is nothing wrong with being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and have an understanding of what they're possibly going through and feeling bad about it. And the fact that they're telling us that we should not be doing that, that being masculine means, like, fuck all that. I am here. I'm showing I love you by doing this. I'm showing I love you by doing that. My opinion is going to be the one that actually matters at the end of the day. And I need to make sure that my goddamn sandwich is made. You know what I mean? Like, it really bothers me, because it's just another, like, facade as well. I don't want to, it's a huge problem, but it's also a facade that people are putting out there to spread hate. And I think people need to understand that you are more of a man and you are more masculine if you act more human, if you actually have empathy.
So if you were to boil all that down, what would definition for intelligent and I know that's not a typical term, is intelligent masculinity, but if you were to boil down all of what you said into like a definition or a framework, how would you define intelligent masculinity? I'll give you my definition afterwards.
Okay. Patience is not weakness. Compassion is not weakness. Oh God, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. I think knowing when to listen, knowing when to speak, and understanding critical thinking, which I think is a massive problem in today's society, is people don't know how to critically think anymore. I don't know. I've been thinking about it, and I feel like this toxic masculinity is more about people being selfish and narcissistic than it is about what I think a real man is, and that is caring, that is patient, that is empathetic, that is wanting to lead for the better of the people around them, not for themselves. I just don't know how to really put it into a definition, though.
Can I give you mine? Because I think you're saying on the path that I've gone down after all of these interviews. This definition or this thesis that I have around it has held up really well. Was better humaning. This whole Arlene, that's a great question. Is why don't we just promote humanity? This is a better humaning conversation. That's the whole point, and that's why this definition can be sort of interchangeable between intelligent masculinity or intelligent humaning, whatever you want to say for it. But in the framework of men right now, intelligent masculinity is the refusal to outsource accountability onto others and the discipline to live with the consequences of our values and actions.
I like that.
I think that's really it, is what we're fighting against is, and you were saying it all there, was like the critical thinking and the ability to step back and know that you don't have to be the center point. You're not the center of the universe. The universe does not revolve around you. The universe might have a center point, but it is not you. And that's okay. And it's just accepting that. It's realizing that we don't have to be the space all the time. Others have equal space to us, and we need to just accept our actions have consequences. Be good or bad, but they have consequences, and we just have to live with them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a great way to put it. I think that's perfect, actually.
Thanks.
Man, it's a problem.
It fucking is, and that's the whole thing. It's like, I think these conversations go in the right direction. to get us started in fixing what's going on. But this is just the starting point. This is where we start these conversations, and then we have to pick them up from there. Like, people have to pick them up in real life from there at home and challenge each other. And I know it can be scary, especially for men, and women know this especially, is men can be really scary. Women are taught to fear men. Men are also taught to fear men. Men are taught to fear other men too. And so these discussions cause fear because the people that we are trying to deprogram or want to deprogram from this or decouple from this hateful masculinity are often the most violent of them, are the ones we are all taught to fear. And we're trying to help them see that they can feel their emotions in ways that are constructive and not destructive. And that's really complex for people who've never been taught how to feel their emotions properly.
I agree with that.
And for us, it's we have to teach men how to feel. We have to teach men how to feel emotions, but not in a way that hurts people, in a way that's a constructive feeling of emotions. And that's really hard and complex when all we've been taught is sad mad.
Well, and that's why I think self introspection is so important. I mean, after a subject, did that make me feel defensive? Did that make me feel angry? Was I worried? I mean, you're right. Self-reflection. I had to learn that going through therapy. I learned reflection by going to therapy. And I think it's probably one of the most important things that somebody can do. And I mean, as a man, we're also reactive to the smallest hits to our egos, when really that wasn't the point in the first place. You know what I mean? We just have been taught and trained or somehow internalized that if we get any type of negative or small comment, it's meant to completely break us down. You know what I mean? But no, or was it used as an example of how you could be better, or how you could be seeing this differently, or I don't know. I think that self-evaluation, journaling, meditation, whatever way you want to do it. Me personally, I will take my shower and I will lay down in my shower for 5 minutes, letting the water hit me, and I just go over everything that happened the day before and how I reacted to it, what it actually meant. It's that simple. And I do it for 5 minutes because it's very calming with the water. It's I'm secluded. There's nobody, there's no noises but the water. And I'm really able to
Oh, sorry, we lost you a bit there.
Sorry. What it is that what it really meant the day before. You know what I mean? And you can do it by journaling. There's tons of ways to do that, but I think that if someone's not able to do that, if they're not able to look inside and really inspect how they reacted or felt about a certain situation, they're never going to be able to grow or change.
Yeah.
So
and being willing to grow and change is really one of the big key differences. I think one of the reasons that the regressive nature of what is going on is so easy for so many to accept is because it does not require them to challenge their own beliefs or their own failures in any way. Whereas what we're asking people to learn how to do is self-evaluate and grow.
That's
and for some, that's hard because they're afraid to hear that maybe they're wrong somewhere along the line, and they're so internalized the fear that being wrong means they're bad that they don't know how to handle being wrong. And being wrong just means you have somewhere to grow and learn off of. It doesn't mean you're bad. It just means there's somewhere to learn and grow. And
I don't care who you are, you're going to be wrong.
At some point, you're going to be wrong.
You're going to make mistakes. It's just the reality. It doesn't matter who you are, and just being able to see those things and tweaking it even 1% at a time you will improve and be a better person, not just for yourself, but for the people around you.
If you improved 1% every day for an entire year, you're 365% better than you were the year before.
That's right. That's
Like,
huge. It's huge.
That's massive. Massive.
Huge. Yeah.
So like, if you can grow that much in a year, great. Don't push yourself.
Think about what you can do in a decade.
Yeah. Like,
insane.
Think about it. That's amazing. Like, just take that 1% growth and just continue to grow. Okay. Before we run out of time, you've answered actually most of all the questions anyways here by this point.
Good.
Except for our lightning round questions, which is
okay.
these are tend to be actually the hardest questions that get asked, because the lightning round, there is no wrong answer to any of them though. And so this is our Mulan segment. This is our I'll Make a Man Out of You. This is the clarion call for men. When I was in high school, the Mulan, this was a big thing for us to sing in high school men's choir. In college, we sang this.
I sang this song in Iraq, man. I love this song.
Oh, good. See, clarion call for action. It's the Let's Go Girls for Men. It's our pump up song. And so we've got 4 questions from the chorus line. And like I said, there is no wrong answer on any of these questions. So here you go, my friend. What does it mean to be as swift to you? What does it mean for you to be as swift as a coursing river?
Being interchangeable, being adaptive, going with the flow. I mean, rivers move around land, rock, objects in their way. And I feel like being able to do that gracefully is important.
Love it.
Oh, okay, good.
How do you embody the force of a great typhoon?
I hear that question and I think of the parts of the day or the situations we're in that are so hectic, and it brings us back to the point to where when things are crazy, it's really good to slow down and really embrace what's happening and come to, I want to say, a mature, educated, human, like, rationale to what's happening and how you can actually respond to it. I think that's a good one.
I like it. I love it. Again, really good question. Wrong answers.
Okay.
How are you as strong as a raging fire?
As a raging fire. That word raging is like...
Let me preface this one because I've done this for other people too, and I think it gives a good framing. There's a difference between in my eyes, a difference between a raging fire and an uncontrolled fire.
Okay.
So a raging fire is like it's a fire raging in a hearth or in your fireplace. It is hot. It is like a bonfire, but it's not out of control. So I'll give you that framing.
When I think of like fire, I think of passion. I think of, I don't know, I guess conviction. It's like the outward expression of your feeling towards a situation in such a powerful way. And as long as it's contained, I guess also a very effective way for, I don't know, a change without causing, like damage. God, I don't know, man. That's a hard question.
I told you these are the hardest questions.
No, that's a hard question.
Like, you'd think these would be easy questions, but they really aren't. They're the hardest ones that I ask. This one specifically is the hardest one of all the questions, especially for folks like us who are on screen a lot, is how are you as mysterious as the dark side of the moon?
So funny. I want to like just respond to this question with, I love getting like pedicures, and nobody would ever think that. It's like mysterious, but no, I mean, look, as veterans, we're taught to hide anything that could be bothering us, whether it's fear, doubt, anything like that, and just basically put on a front of this professional warhorse, that only cares about victory and the mission. But I think being as mysterious as the dark side of the moon could actually be reversed. I feel like being able to express in a responsible, non-terrifying way that you have fear, grief, doubt, being able to actually look. I mean, I feel like our internal selves are a mystery to us most of the time. It's that dark side of the moon, basically, right? And being able to understand those things, even though they are so mysterious, and control those things and use them in a positive manner. I don't know.
Hey man, you know what?
That was hard. I don't know.
I told you the hardest freaking questions are these 4 questions, and that one specifically. It's hard to think about how we are mysterious. And so, like, I get that one. That one's the hardest one to answer. This one, however, this final question is the easiest of them all, though, is where can people find and support your work, and how can people help and support what you're doing? And while we do that, I'm going to pull up a QR code and beautiful picture of you, which leads to your Substack side. But how can people support you and find your work?
Yeah, you guys can find me on every single platform. But if you do want to support my work, which I would very much appreciate, becoming a paid subscriber on my Substack is definitely the best way to do that. And you can find me everywhere for breaking news, breakdowns. But Substack is really where I'm trying to turn this into a full newsroom explainer for people. And it's where I am actually trying to gain my support financially and obviously community as well. So please subscribe to my Substack.
Love it. Appreciate it, man. And it's been really good to have you with us, with me today for this discussion. I'm going to have you back.
Yeah, man, I'd love to. Thank you for having me.
Lots of things. Yeah, man. Lots of awesome things I want to talk about with you. And so I look forward to talking again soon. Everyone, thank you for joining us today for this intelligent masculinity discussion. Again, I'm Nick Paro. This is Sick of This Shit Publications. And here we're done being sick of this shit. So now we're doing this shit. So thanks, everyone. I'll see y'all again next week for another intelligent masculinity discussion. Thanks, Jarrod. Appreciate you a lot for coming on today. And everyone,
thanks, brother.
See you soon here for the Diogenes Club.
I'll be there.
Talk again. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one.
Bye.